So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your interest in this webinar. I'm Alexandra Cunha, a Senior Nature Conservation Policy Advisor and Reducing Pollution through Partnership Project Manager. In this webinar, I will present the aims and tasks from this project, will introduce the project team and partners, and will explain the approach taken and show some of the preliminary results. JNCC was commissioned by DEFRA to set up a scoping project to support the design of a wider pollution program to enhance the ability of low-income countries to manage chemicals and to reduce air, chemical, and waste pollution. The scoping project has 6 work packages which have been delivered through the financial year, March 2021 to March 2022. I will focus this presentation on work packages 2, 3, and 4. Work package 2 aimed at developing a pollution global analysis to inform the wider program and help engagement with pilot countries. Through work package 3, we work with pilot countries and their pollution experts and stakeholders to validate the information developed in the pollution global analysis and identify additional relevant data and priorities for pilot countries. During work package 4, partners developed proposals to contribute to improving pollution literacy and build capacity in their countries, as well as some boots on the ground activities. We work very closely with the chemicals, pesticides and hazardous waste team and the international hub team in DEFRA in paving the way to the project implementation. Within JNCC, the project sat on the Nature Conservation Policy and Advice team, where a core staff of 6 members implemented the project. As always, we couldn't have implemented the project without the help of other teams within JNCC, which were crucial in leading the project to success, such as our colleagues in the ecosystem analysis team, the international implementation team, the communication team, the finance team, the business team, and the executive leadership team. Thank you so much for all your help. It was much appreciated. I would like also to introduce our pilot country partners. So in Namibia, we partnered with Namibia Nature Foundation, Namibia's leading conservation and sustainable development non-government organization. We also partnered with the Global Alliance on Health and Pollution, GAHP, which is a not-for-profit foundation based in Switzerland, and which acted as the liaison partner with the Wildlife Conservation Society in Indonesia and the Vietnamese Association for Conservation of Nature and Environment. In Mozambique, our partners are from the Department of Science at the Eduardo Mondlane University in Maputo, and in Angola, our partners are EcoDjango, a startup from Eco Angola in Luanda. Last but not least, our partners in South Africa are the Institute of Natural Resources in the KwaZulu-Natal province, and Dr. Nick Rivers-Moore from the Centre of Water Resources Research in South Africa, which participated as an independent partner. During work package 2, the global analysis design, we held 2 workshops with experts from within JNCC and the wider DEFRA, and external experts from the University of Nottingham. During these workshops, we discussed the best way of approaching the topic of pollution in low and middle income countries. Emma Wright from JNCC Ecosystem Analysis Team presented several options for analyzing pollution sources and impacts worldwide. We eventually opted for building our analysis using the IUCN Red List, as the data was extensive, was readily available, and free to use. This global analysis had 2 main objectives. In one hand, it was important to provide JNCC and DEFRA with information on types of pollution and its impacts in low and middle income countries. But on the other hand, the global analysis was also used as a tool to start engagement with pilot countries to understand how these countries perceive pollution, what were their main concerns and priorities. The global analysis was built by overlapping red list species range data from species categorized as critically endangered, vulnerable, as well as species assessed as near threatened, with the pollution categories in the IUCN threat scheme. JNCC produced videos explaining in detail the methods used and the global analysis results. And these videos are now available on YouTube. You just need to Google the project name and they will probably pop up. So the main pollution categories in the IUCN threat scheme and used at the global analysis were domestic and urban wastewater, industrial and military effluents, agriculture and forestry effluents, garbage and solid waste, airborne pollutants, and excess energy. The results from overlaying range maps of species threatened by pollution with country maps allowed the identification of hotspots where multiple species are impacted. Heat maps, like the one shown in this slide, were created for each country, showing different types of pollution impacts on threatened and near-threatened species. A country-specific analysis was created by zooming in each pilot country. This slide shows an example of one of the heat maps created. This one is for South Africa and shows the results of the pollution analysis for species affected by herbicides and pesticides, a subcategory of the high-level pollution of by agriculture. Our teamlet had just been recruited when they had to work around the clock to provide the information to partners. Ideally, we would have traveled to the pilot countries to deliver the information and work closely with our partners, but due to COVID, we had to go with Plan B. Our Plan B included the creation of an information package to deliver the information related to the global analysis for each country. The information package contained a set of documents delivering the information to be validated and to support the local sense check workshops. Some of the documents that we created, we had a cover page explaining the whole information package. We had a one-page project introduction. We had PowerPoints with scripts in English, but and these PowerPoints were, we provided these PowerPoints so that the partners could adapt them to their countries. We also produced an introductory short video, and we created 9 videos for partners to see the information and also to share if they wanted. And we have also delivered pilot country detailed reports with information on pollution for each country, a questions pool from where partners could use some or pick some of the questions, and other supporting information, which was mainly explaining the way JNCC works, like GDPR, FOI, and those terms that we needed to explain to partners. JNCC started engagement with pilot countries quite early in the project, and all engagement was held online. We asked our partners in country to compare the information produced by the global analysis with the reality for their countries and validate the information with local experts and stakeholders. Our partners used different approaches to validate the information and engage with country experts, but all of them held workshops with local experts and stakeholders. Some partners opted for setting up workshops online, like South Africa, Namibia, Vietnam, and Indonesia. The online workshops offered different sessions, with some partners splitting workshops into days. Like in this example, these are images from the workshop in Vietnam. They had a hybrid workshop where there were 2 rooms with people participating face-to-face, but there was a wider audience that could participate via video conference. Partners also had very interactive workshops with breakout rooms, polls, and the use of whiteboards. Participants numbers in each workshop varied from 23 to 150. And I participated in some of these workshops. I mean, we all did, and we were quite impressed with the level of engagement of everyone. It was really great to see. So in Angola and Mozambique, workshops were held face-to-face over 2 days. In these photos, you can see Eco Angola implementing practical and simple exercises using brainstorm techniques, guided discussion, and collaborative learning. They engage with a senior environmental specialist and professional facilitator, and they also had a video and a photographer. So we have a good image cover for what happened in the country. They set out 3 workrooms, for example, and participants moved around in a rotation system. So it was, although we were online on the introductions, we were not able to participate in these rooms. For most countries, the workshops were followed by online surveys to complement discussions held during workshops, and also to allow for input from experts and stakeholders that weren't able to participate in the workshops. This slide shows an example of one set of questions asked during these workshops. We were interested to know if the pollution results delivered by the global analysis were what they expected for their country. We also wanted to know what were the major gaps of information in this analysis. We asked the pollution experts and the stakeholders if they were aware of other databases of information for their country that could complement the information on the global analysis, and also what kind of information they would like to see added to a global analysis. Partners delivered very comprehensive workshop reports with information on general participant statistics, such as professional groups and regional participation, as well as detailed input from the expert in relation to the value of the global analysis. For example, in this slide, you can see an example of the answers for one country. In this case, a large proportion of experts found that the information provided reflected moderately the reality in their country. And we have this kind of information for the 6 countries. The information delivered by the global analysis was not very simple to understand, and each partner adapted the information from the information packages to their context. For Angola, Mozambique, Vietnam, and Indonesia, translation was used to help understanding this during the workshops, and also the documents were also translated. Some of the documents were also translated. All partners mentioned that despite the global analysis limitations, this was an extremely useful exercise and an excellent tool to engage with pollution experts. They also mentioned that the project and the global analysis was an exceptional opportunity to bring together experts from different areas of pollution and share information among all. To complement the information gathered during the workshops, pilot countries are also going to deliver evidence projects such as pollution literature review and state-of-the-art for their countries. We expect to make available both the workshop and the evidence project reports for each country in the project webpage starting next month. As part of Work Package 4, partners delivered detailed capacity building and boots-on-the-ground proposals. The rationale behind this task was to understand pilot countries' views on the best approach to improve pollution literacy and how much it will cost. It is important for the team to understand the different possible approaches and have an idea of the budget required to implement the future project. Examples included a master proposal in South Africa, a pesticides awareness kit in Namibia, a teacher's training module on pollution, and a more in-depth training on pollution for technical personnel and NGOs in Mozambique. South Africa, Angola, and Mozambique will further implement boots-on-the-ground activities, which will take place during the next 2-3 months. These activities consist of a nappy waste management program in South Africa and pollution awareness campaigns in Angola and Mozambique. Additionally, JNCC and DEFRA contracted out 3 evidence projects to support the wider program. These reports will also be available online on the project webpage once completed. So in summary, the project engaged with 6 pilot countries and have 8 delivery partners and work with 36 directly with 36 contributors. We developed a pollution global analysis that can now be expanded to focus more, for example, in the marine area. We can use in several countries, or actually all countries in the world, and we can also add more information into this global analysis to make it more solid. For example, we could add information on socioeconomics to it. We delivered information package for the 6 countries. We supported 10 workshops in country, reaching more than 400 experts. We spent in country around 400K. And we have now the pollution priorities information, capacity building proposals, and research and development ideas for these pilot countries that could be used to develop the wider pollution program. Just to summarize the outputs from pilot countries, these are the workshop delivery and reports, the evidence reports, the capacity building proposals, and the boots on the ground activities. And once more, just to highlight that we will have this information available in our webpage when they are completed. And so the other thing I would like to mention is the country needs highlights. From the outputs delivered so far, we can say that the main priorities highlighted by the pilot countries include the need to increase pollution literacy through capacity building. They were also worried about the identification of pollution hotspots at regional and local scale. They need support in designing monitoring frameworks and indicators appropriate for their countries. And I think in this JNCC are quite good doing this, so maybe we can help. And they also found that they need enhancement engagement with the government, with their own governments and the industries operating in country, and investment in developing socio-economic solutions for their reality. We also have preliminary results on the main sources of pollution identified and on emerging pollution threats. The list is long, and I'm only sharing here the common emerging pollutants highlighted for most countries, and these are thermal pollution, mostly associated with climate change, microplastics, pharmaceuticals and endocrine disrupting compounds, and e-waste. With this webinar, we are starting a communication campaign on the project outputs. From today, the project webpage is also online, and we will add the final outputs when they are ready. You can find more detailed information in the webpage, such as links to the project partners web pages, the videos, and some of the outputs will be soon available. We will also be starting broadcasting pilot country stories through social media, and will hold the project final conference on the 27th and 28th of April, where partners will be able to share and showcase their experiences with the project. Thank you again for your interest and participation in this webinar, and I can now answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. Let's have a quick look at the Jamboard and see what people are asking. So we've got first question. What lessons learned from this work could help to improve other future collaborative projects?
Well, I would say the main lesson is to engage quite early with the project partners. It's quite important to start building that trust. I have to say that I didn't know most of the people that we engaged to, but it really went over my expectations. We work quite well, especially nowadays that, you know, I just met people online, but they just delivered an amazing amount of work. But I think one of the reasons was that we engaged early, and also we gave them ownership of the project. So we just develop those information packages and send them away. But we were there, you know, we were there holding meetings every fortnight. We had a country lead for dedicated to each project, and we were always there, you know, to help them and not bossing them around, let's say, you know, and just supporting and also saying, oh, the other partner is doing this, maybe you can try. So there was a lot of working together, and that was really, really good.
So probably links up a little bit with the next one. How successful would you say the online workshops have been? And would you continue to do these online in the future, or would you prefer face-to-face?
It's interesting because the main aim of this scoping year was actually to test different approaches, and we let country partners to choose. And I have to say that both approaches work well. You know, so the first workshop was South Africa. They were very pragmatic, and they were just went there and bang, 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 and we did got the answers we needed. But at the same time, we look at the face-to-face workshops, and you can see there was a lot of learning. And so actually the whole workshops was capacity building exercise. So I wouldn't say I would prefer one or the other, but